Hey, I want to talk for a minute about these components needed for welding punching shear resistor studs or PSR studs. We do have an economy model that is much less expensive, and if you're only shooting a small number of studs, that might work out pretty good for you. But this is like the deluxe version, and these are side load chucks. So this is going to screw into, if you have a Proweld, if you have a Truweld or Proweld, this is going to screw right into the shaft extension on your gun. And then the way these work is these are just, they have these little holders, and you can just click it in and make sure it's slid all the way back. That's what's going to hold your stud. Now this is the shorter one, and then they have the L, which is this version, and then they have the XL, which is this version. And as you can see on this one, this is the way they send it from the factory. There's also, this can be moved, like you can see here. These can be rearranged in different ways. These chucks are fairly expensive initially, but once you have them, if these get gummed up or worn out, you can just buy just the holder and replace it, or you can just buy this block and you can rebuild it with the parts from an old one. And likewise, if you, this whole setup here is for 1/2 inch. If you had, say, this one and you wanted to set up for 3/4, you could just buy just the holders and swap these out. Now, the other thing you're going to need is you need a wider leg stance. And for the Truwelds, develop this leg widener, and this is where the leg nuts are on the front of the gun. You have to take those out, and then you're going to place this down, and you're going to put the leg nuts back in here. And this is the better setup because you only need 2 pair of legs when you're done. Now that Nelson NS20 gun, this won't fit on that. So they came up with this one, which you're going to need 2 pair of legs to use. You're going to hook up 2 7-inch legs to these two, and you're going to slide this all the way onto the gun, and that gives you, you can put another set of legs in here to give you that wider stance. And then, of course, you need a ferrule foot plate, a wider one, to fit this leg spacing, and we've got those. You just order these by diameter. So that's a quick primer on the parts needed for welding PSR studs. Okay, guys, here's your primer on PSR setup. First thing you're going to do is you're going to set up this leg widener. So you're going to have to remove these 2 gun nuts, the leg nuts, off the front of the gun, and you're going to install this and then put the leg nuts back on. This is, your chuck is going to look like this. You're going to put there's a long connector stud here, and this is your lock nut, and you can put the weld cable right here. If you want, there is an option that you can flip this over and mount it with a 1/2-20 bolt to right here. But I think this should work fine for what you're doing. So you want to get it aligned like 12 and 6 o'clock, and you're going to lock, this nut is going to lock it together. And then the chuck is a side load. This is 1/2 inch, and this just clicks in there, and you slide it all the way back. And then you're going to get some long legs, and you're going to get a wide ferrule foot plate like this. And then when you put the ferrule, this is all kind of loose. When you put the ferrule on here, you can get this adjusted the way you want it before you lock it down. That's the basic setup. The only other thing I forgot to mention to you guys is that normally this weld cable's on here the other way around, so that this fat part sticks out this way. So when you put this back together, you have to flip this over 180 degrees so that the fat part sticks out this way, and it won't interfere with this.